things first, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not to unsettle you. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First. And my very first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God. Asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Come go with me. We are continuing to broadcast from Nigeria, West Africa, and we are all over the place because of the nature of the way things are in Africa. Well, in particular now in Nigeria, you will hear some stuff live from wherever we are, and some things will be pre-taped. Sometimes we have Wi-Fi and sometimes we do not. But certainly it's been quite a beautiful experience so far, and we are just really still getting started. We have been out to the countryside, we've been into the city, and we're going back and forth for different parts of the mission. We need to go out to the countryside when we do our service. For the most part, we'll go to under-resourced areas in the remote villages where we can provide water wells, where we can provide uniforms for the children, where we can offer, usually what we do when we do our service, we don't try to come in and just impose our vibe. And by the way, right now you can hear, we're outside in the countryside right now. So you can hear the sounds of people walking by, people doing their day-to-day business. There is no remote sound chamber. And Africa is Africa-ing right now all around you. But what we do when we do our service, we'll get in contact with a school or an orphanage, wherever we're going in the country that we're going to visit, and we'll find out from the teachers and the administrators what is it that they need. So we don't come in like colonizers and just say, this is what we're doing, and we're imposing our thing on you. It is interesting, though. Clearly, we, as Black Americans, or freedmen, or melanated people from the United States, whatever y'all want to call it today, we do have a different perspective. We have a different mindset. Although clearly these are our cousins or uncles or great-great-great-great-grannies, we are Western in our viewpoint. We're careful to at least ask people what they need and not impose what it is that we think they need. We're also very mindful about giving collectively, not doing handouts in the sense of someone comes up to you on the street and you just give them $1, a dime, or $100, because it can cause all kinds of unexpected and unwanted consequences, including the people becoming somehow targeted, or just creating rumors and conflict in the town or village that you're in. There's so many unintended consequences that we may not even be privy to or really understand if you're coming into a culture that, even though everybody's black and they're black like you, so therefore it becomes, a situation where you're going in and you really don't know the impact of what you're doing. We were at actually went out last night for a little bit, kind of sort of clubbing, not really clubbing. It was more of a lounge. We'll get to the clubbing part at the weekend,
up, though.
I suppose. Yeah,
we turned up though.
Yeah. Good morning, Miles.
How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah.
I mean, just jump on like that.
No, I'm glad you did.
Wake these people up.
It's just like, yeah, we were a little short on sleep this morning because we were out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was funny because when we walked in, all of a sudden, all they wanted to play was
Boots on the Ground 3 times.
Boots on the Ground. Over
Squabble Up. Not Like Us. What's the other Kendrick song they're playing? Be Humble. Sit down.
Humble. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which I was wondering if there was a subliminal message there.
Right. And which I feel like it definitely was. Me and the DJ had a little beef. You know what I mean? I'm playing the song.
Miles, I've never seen you beefing with anyone before. You're so like conjovial and nice.
Yeah,
kind.
Exactly. He chose the wrong one. All I did was tell him, listen, man, we came here to Nigeria. Play some Wizkid, play some Burna Boy, some Tyler, some some Davido, some Diamond Platinum,
some Fela Kuti,
some Jerusalem. You know what I mean? Put us in that mode. And he's like, man, nah, I got it. When it's time, we will. And kept on playing, Boots on the Ground again. It's like sitting there and looking at us while they playing it. Dance. We're gonna turn up, have a good time. Of course, we drink and spend a little bit of money, and for him to. It felt like they kind of like trying to watch the minstrel show a little bit.
Yeah, they were definitely in that club. They were definitely stereotyping us.
Right.
And I mean, I get it. It's fair game. Stereotyping goes both ways.
And look, but not even stereotyping is wrong. Cause I get it. Like we we act out. We show we a big group. I get you have but then at least do it the right way. At least hit us with the right song. There's so many songs to choose. Just pick the right one. You
know how petty I am. I'm like, well, if you're gonna stereotype, us as American tourists, then at least get this summer's hit.
Right, exactly.
They gonna play it, Not Like Us 5 million times. And look, we love Kendrick. It's not that. It was more of a vibe about, and then the guy kept cutting the songs.
Cause you know what he was doing, and then then you start playing the hits like the Selena Gomez. No diss to Selena Gomez. No diss to Shakira. But what it's really saying is, you're not in tune. You're just playing what you think is the right thing to do. Because you got a room full of Black American women. Play some Beyonce. Play the Before I Let Go.
But you said something to him.
I told him. He said he got it. Okay, bet.
Yeah, that was funny to me. Miles went and checked the DJ.
And then he finally started playing, and he's like, "Oh, see, we playing the song you asked for. Good, right?" I'm like, well, you ain't getting no tip now because you played the song that you should have been playing the whole time, bro. That's not it.
Keep cutting the.
He's still scratching and cutting the songs off.
And it was like, well, we had a good time anyway, but it was just an interesting clash of cultures.
Right.
And you've got, our group is not exclusively Black. We have a mix of people, but I'd say 90% of us, right?
But also, too, we're
maybe
not
95%.
Right. But here's the thing, too. We're not the same generation, so that Kendrick's not going to work for everybody.
Right. No, we got generations. I think we established yesterday we got Z, millennials, Gen X, and the greatest generation all on one trip. So we got 4 generations walking and talking, and it's true. And not only that, like you said, we came here to be with you and do what you do. We can listen to Squabble Up,
right,
in Compton,
in the headphones, in the truck,
in Dallas, So that was an interesting clash of cultures, and interesting because it highlights what I was talking about. We are doing our best to walk with careful footsteps,
right,
and not come through like big time cultural imperialist colonizer
Right.
Types ourselves, because we know that we were raised in the belly of the beast.
Right.
We were, nurtured inside of the hub of international imperialism. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a pamphlet, but that's what it is. And so, I think we're being mindful, and sometimes we fail too. I think sometimes we're loud and wrong too. But I thought that was interesting that you had that conflict, that moment.
Yeah.
We still had a good time, but it's been interesting when we were in Lagos, the city center. Even talking to some of the people, the staff of the hotel, which is a beautiful, luxurious place. One woman that I talked to described us as a group of people from America who have a deep interest in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me laugh. And I had one of the moments like you had, Miles, where I said, well, a deep interest in Africa because our ancestors are from here.
Right.
It's not a random interest in Africa. It's a deep interest in Africa because our ancestors were kidnapped from here.
Right.
But for some, and I don't want to put this stereotype on all Africans, but it is true for some, they kind of view us as like a rich uncle.
Right.
Or a rich distant relative that they try to, because, and most of us are not rich, but
right.
Everything's relative.
Right. And I mean, I also, not to cut your wisdom too, but I feel like it goes both ways though. The same way how I used to work in Vegas in the hospitality industry, so I get you having a stereotype of people as soon as they come up, like how we get in a restaurant, who's going to tip, who's not going to tip. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like you have that type of perception.
Tourist mentality.
Exactly, and you kind of know what service you're about to give and what kind of customer you're about to receive just walking up from it. And
yeah, but if you think about it, the standard of living of most Black Americans is higher than the average for you talk about the hood, for example, or even the middle class. The amenities that we expect, and I'm not saying we're rich, but because the country's more developed, you're always going to have running water. You're always going to have basic, your internet's going to be pretty steady for most of us. Your electricity is going to be pretty steady, although we haven't had trouble with electricity going off and on. And so things we take for granted is what I'm saying in terms of economic level of functioning aren't necessarily taken for granted here. So we just the way we walk, the way we dress, our logos and our stuff. So yeah, I get that, but it was just one of those moments. And I think I had another, I've had a lot of people inquiring curiously, well, who are you guys and where are you from? And a guy this morning, because we all walked out in white, because today we'll visit the King's Palace, and we were requested to come in white. Yeah, use some sharp attire.
Yeah, I like the school uniform.
Oh, the school uniform is kind of given outcast.
You feel
actually.
me? You giving black dandyism. What you talking about? Yes, Met Gala in this mug. Okay.
Yeah, for real. And we are out in the country. Yeah. Anyway, as we broadcast, we're out in the country. But right now, I want to take you back to Lagos, and the whole conversation we were having is in the setting of a very affluent, swanky hotel where the governor had a party, where there are international businessmen and women walking around, and where at the same time you could see the class strata in Lagos itself, because the porters, the busboys, the waiters, the room cleaners, everybody's Black. But the class levels are so apparent. The porters, the waiters, the busboys, they're going to be coming over from the mainland somewhere in the hood where they live. They're not living on the island, Victoria Island. And then of course you have the managers and that, class, the supervisors, that class up, which may be probably still living in the hood, but maybe a little nicer part. And then you have the wealthy and the international business people who probably do live on the island, or they have homes in some other swanky part of Lagos, and travelers from other parts of, mostly Nigeria, but other parts of Africa. And so against this backdrop, here we come with our American accents and our ways of doing things that are different. It's a study in international relations, but it's also a study in class strata.
Right.
You know, because it's easier to see it when everybody's black.
Yeah.
So did you resolve things with the DJ, Miles, or did you leave?
Oh yeah, we left. We left the venue. Sorry, you kind of ran us off. We peaced out, fam. That's what we do.
Yeah, and we did. And one thing about our group, we are going to roll in unity.
Yeah, we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll together.
Yeah.
And like I said, if it's some liquor involved or something, we're gonna be spending money, man. You had a chance to, get your money up. So
yeah, that is true. Well, and one thing about our African Focus Trailblazers, we and KBLA Trailblazers, we will shop. We will spend some money. Can
I share one thing before we go to our break? I learned a couple slurs that they use when they call us.
Oh, what'd you learn? I didn't learn those.
I learned one called Akata.
Oh, I've heard that before. Doesn't it mean like foreigner?
It means a cotton picker.
A cotton picker. Wow. Well,
come on, somebody.
Our ancestors are that.
Hey man, look, this. I'm a fan of battle rap, so I know like how like you hit me, we hit you. You know what I mean? So.
But here's the thing about that: all that wealth that you admire in the United States was built on the back of cotton pickers.
You feel me?
We built the whole thing. So if you love the wealth, you love us.
You feel me?
Okay. What was the other one?
That was it.
Oh, that was a good one.
Well, yeah.
Did you put it in battle rap?
Not yet, but
yeah, I had someone ask me if we were Amerikaners, which is kind of like Afrikaners. I said we're from America, but we're not Amerikaners.
Right.
So much to learn, so much to do, and you'll get a chance to meet some of the folks from Lagos as we come forward. I'm Dominique DiPrima. You know that's Miles Lowe, and this right here, KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love. Now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Okay, James works in hospitality by day, but you're an artist by night?
Yeah, artist by night, work hard all day, make sure I'll be on track and get my stuff done and keeping it cool, keeping it real. I'm from one of the most beautiful hood in this place. I'm from Ikoyi, and I'm I might say, I'm not real low class, I'm not middle class, but we've been doing it, keeping it from the start, and we're starting to get up and heat it up and help those from the scratch, you know what I'm saying? But
what's your name, your artist name?
My artist name is Jamis Quedge. That's my name.
Jamis Quedge.
Jamis Quedge, you know what I mean? So that's a real name.
And what kind of work do you do?
For now, at first, I'm a receptionist, but I quit because it makes me a little bit kind of indoor and dulling me. It doesn't help me to relate with people. So I choose to be a porter, whereby I can meet people and reach out to people.
Porter by day, that's your day job, but as an artist, what kind of work do you do?
My night job, when it comes to artist work, I move mostly like Friday, Saturday, I go out to the club, I go to DNA, Red Room nightclub, I go to Killers, I hang out with DJs.
A singer,
a rapper,
dancer,
MC, and all that, dancehall. Yeah, I do, I'm kind of versatile.
Can you do a little bit? Can you spit a little something?
Yeah, I've been doing it ever since I was a teen, and I do my thing, letting nobody's feet on that shit. My kind of flow is Bert saying, you going to trip on it, chilling with my bro from Cali. I don't know his name, so he's one of DJ Max. Yeah, we're doing it. This is Lagos State, keeping tea, trying to put my money in good state, letting the DJ test me, let my niggas step on there. We're going to kick the beat and so I let him fucking any DVD, NC, we go put them on it down and bet it down like Python. That's how we do it, keeping the life goes on. So what's up? What do you want to hear, man? That's the right thing. We're keeping it cool.
Okay. So tell me, if I'm coming from somewhere else and I want to find the parties in Lagos, how do I find the parties?
Where you want to party? You want to go party? There's a lot of places you can party. You can go to Murio, Kunola. You have a big place like Rondo Museum Center, Unico Center. You also have Odela Deco, which is Abbas Club, 24 hours PM. You also have a lot of places you can go in Lagos, but it depends what kind of party you want.
But they're all here.
Yeah, they're all here. We have as well Hard Rock Cafe at Landmark. We have all things going on in this Lagos state, man. It depends on what you want. It depends what area you want to go party. If you want to do strippers or if you want to do whatever bullshit.
They want strippers, yeah. I'm sure they want strippers. But why does everyone talk about the island? What's the big deal about the island?
Island is the heart of Nigeria. This is where the 1% lives.
This is the bougie part of town.
That's what I'm telling you. This is the bougie part of it. So when you talk of Nigeria, if you don't have a house in Lagos, you're not existing. Island is the main place. You have Lagos. Lagos is one of the most biggest commercial city. But when you cross the bridge to the other side, that's the mainland. So that's why nothing is going on over there.
Is that where the hood is at?
That's where the hood is at, man. It's quite beautiful. It's awesome. If you take a taste of it, you're gonna like it. It's a different lifestyle entirely. When you cross to this side, this is where the money flows. This is where the people are. This is where people like you, a lot of people comes in and flowing and towing and know what's happening. This is where they party on. You know what I'm saying?
This is like Bel Air.
This is
the mainland is like
South
Hollywood.
Central. This is like Hollywood, for example.
Right,
this is like Hollywood of Nigeria.
But if we were going to go to the mainland, go to the hood,
yeah.
Where would you say it's beautiful? Where would we go?
Good. You have to go to a place like if you have the paper, you can note it down. You have a place like Surulere, very beautiful place. Surulere. You have a place also like Oshodi, Ikorodu, Ikeja. You have a place like Maryland, Ilupeju. These places are beautiful. It's not dangerous. It's a place where you can meet a lot of people, have some fun, just like normal people, normal life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's a hood, you know what I mean? You meet some people with tattoo and all that, like rude, rugged, hard face, you know, hardcore. But, you know, they're not dangerous, you know, they might be scared, who the hell you are, but they're cool, you know what I'm saying? So that's it. You can also move to places like Yanukbaja and all that. So, but the main place I would like to ask you to go is a place like Surulere.
Okay, Surulere.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it on tape. I hear you saying it's not dangerous and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people from other places, they have stereotypes about Nigeria. So what do you want to tell the world about?
That's bullshit. That's TV. That's CNN. That's BBC. That's all kind of trash, fake news. If I'm gonna put it that way, I'm not Trump anyway. But that's bullshit. Yeah, you know, Trump's always cry out like fake news. But for real, it's all bullshit. Nigeria is the best place. Lagos is one of the most safest places in Africa. This is one of the best places. It's a real cocoa dance. It's our old school shit. We're on track. Lagos is the best place to be. Whoever tells you Nigeria is dangerous, the scam, this is all lies, all bullshit. There's a lot of people who do scam anywhere in the world. You know what I'm saying? So there's bad people in China. There's good people in China. There's bad people in the United States. You have good people in the United States as well. So in Nigeria, you have good people. You have good and the bad and the ugly everywhere in the world. So Nigeria is the best place anywhere you can be in the world. Most especially Africa. This is where you're supposed to be in Africa.
I know you're busy. I know you got to go back to work. Real quick, how can we find you on Instagram so we can follow your art?
Seriously, I changed my before I get hacked. I get like my Instagram get hacked like twice. So I quickly changed. So but now you can get me on Jamin Squash, but I don't have much follower for now because I'm not following up. So I'm not pushing Jamin Squash, JAMAIZE Squash, KWEJI Squash, JE. Sorry, you know Jamin Squash. You can hit me up. Or you hit me up on LinkedIn as James Nazareth. That's my full name.
James Nazareth.
Okay. Yeah, so that's
thank you for stopping to
and
talk
you what's
to
name?
us. Dominique, you can find me at Diprima Radio.
Oh, really?
So
I'm on the radio live, right, guys?
You're going to be on the radio tomorrow?
You're kidding me, man. You must
Not
be
at all. Not at all. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on the radio worldwide.
Well, you go cut some shit out, man, because now she's not going to be dope, like, you know what I'm saying? So, man, yeah, can I maybe...
Doesn't matter if you don't...
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Island with BIN News Now. On the Black Information Network, the White House confirms the FBI is investigating the leak of an intel report challenging the effectiveness of the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuke sites. The organization was looking to challenge the state from banning it from taking part in the Medicaid program because of the abortion care it provides. A heat dome impacting millions across the central and eastern U.S. is starting to lift. Forecasters say temperatures will start falling in the Northeast, where places like New York and New England have been reporting record heat. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker will seek a third term next year. Pritzker says his state is standing at the center of the fight to make life more affordable. There are also reports that Pritzker could be running for president in 2028. New data reveals that the U.S. economy shrank more than previously estimated. The GDP fell at an annual rate of 0.5% from January through March. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Irwindale, this is a crash on the 210 eastbound right at Irwindale Avenue. A couple of cars blocking the carpool lane. People are even out of their cars walking around in lanes right now, so watch out. Big slowdowns out of Pasadena, leaving Sierra Madre. A lot of people might opt to take the 10. That drive is slow eastbound out of Monterey Park from Atlantic Boulevard all the way to Baldwin Park Boulevard, and the eastbound side of the 60 slowing as well from the 710 to the 605. The southbound side of the 5 backing up out of Burbank, leaving Alameda. Delays taking you ahead to the 605.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks snapped a 4-game losing streak Thursday night in the WNBA. They beat the Indiana Fever 85-75. First win for the Sparks since June 11. The Sparks are home Sunday afternoon against the Chicago Sky. The Lakers finally had some activity in the NBA draft after not having a first-round pick Wednesday night. They made a trade with Phoenix and Minnesota to move up 19 spots in the second round. The Lakers selected Adou Thero, a 6'8 forward from Arkansas. The Clippers used their second-round pick to take Kobe Sanders, a 6'7 guard from Nevada. Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw had 5 strikeouts in the Dodgers' 3-1 win at Colorado. Kershaw needs only 3 more to become the 20th Major League pitcher with 3,000 strikeouts. If the Angels beat the Washington Nationals tonight in Anaheim, they will be over the 500 mark for the first time this season since April 20th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready?
Drop it!
Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Are you ready to play? Then jump into the LA84 Foundation's Free Playdate Block Party, a community celebration for all ages, including live music, dancing, LA's pro sports teams, great local food trucks, plus special giveaways for you to take home. Enjoy an exciting, fun-filled day for the entire family. Join on Saturday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 2141 West Adams Boulevard. To register, go to la84.org. We'll see you Saturday, June 28th at LA84 Foundation's Free Playdate Block Party. Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease or AD. But did you know that black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has work source centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm so happy to talk to somebody from Nigeria. I've been talking to a lot of the travelers that came with me about their experience and their discovery, but you're born and raised in Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Nigeria. I'm very proud of my origin, proudly Nigeria. I happen to come from the southwest part of the country. In the southwest, we're called the Yoruba people. You know, you have the Igbo, you have the Hausas, and you have the Yoruba, the Igbo, 3 major tribes in the country. The Igbo, the Hausa, which are the northern land, you know, and we have the Yorubas, which is where I come from, the southwest.
And so, from what I understand, the city of Lagos is more dominated by the Yoruba people. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. So. City of Lagos is a state in the southwest, the Yoruba. In the Yoruba, I think we have about 5. We have the Ogun State, we have the Lagos State, that's the Yoruba. We have the Ondo State, we have the Ilorin, that's the Kwara State. So yeah, among the Yoruba states, Lagos is the most popular one. Yeah, and it's more dominated.
And you work in hospitality. Tell me about how you came to this position. Did you have to do a lot of studying? Tell me, we're curious about your everyday life, your journey.
To be honest with you, actually, when I say to a lot of people, given my stature, people don't believe it. Actually, I've been in the industry for close to 20 years, hospitality industry for close to 20 years.
Wow.
And I tell you, this is the best that can happen to anyone. Hospitality is my passion. I love to meeting people, listening to people, taking care of people, knowing, resolving challenges of people. It's a passion that I have, and that is what has kept me going. There's no doubt that there's a lot of challenges, or the challenges, that is also associated with being in the hospitality industry, especially when it has to deal with human beings, human relations. Sometimes it's one of the major challenges you have, understanding human behavior, which is what we do on a daily basis. But I tell you, that is the most interesting aspect of me, having to commune, having to communicate with people. Yeah, it gives me some level of satisfaction, especially when I see that I'm able to resolve your issues, I'm able to make you happy. Hospitality, they say, is a place that make you feel home away from your home. So people come, they lodge in your hotel, and at the end of the day, you leave them with a smile on their face, and you leave them with this impression that always bring them back to, the same space.
This is my second time in the Echo Hotel. I came and stayed here in 2019 and here again, and I love it. It's so beautiful. I love all of the different restaurants, having the bar by the pool, and just the people are so nice. But you have people from all over the place coming here, right? This is sort of a hot spot for all of Nigeria, for all, maybe Africa?
This is an international hotel. You have people from all around the globe coming to a hotel and suite, from all around the globe, from all the continents of the world, from Australia, from America, from Europe, from the Middle East, from the Africa. This is the home, and every time people come here, they feel at home. They feel like they are in their own country because of the kind of hospitality, diversity we've been able to embrace over the time. We have people coming from all over the world, we also have staffs of this organization from all aspects.
I noticed that. Yeah.
From all over the world.
Yeah,
so at every point in time, you're able to get a feel, of maybe the cuisine, from the restaurants to the culture to the room settings and all of that. So you have international standard beyond the physique of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the human touch, in the hospitality that you get from the hotel.
You guys have traditional Nigerian food. You got Chinese food. You got Tex-Mex.
Exactly my
You got
point.
an Irish pub. I mean, a lot happening here.
Exactly my point. So the cuisine cut across. We even have Indian
food.
We have Indian concept. So we cut across all over the continent, to be able to have that expanded satisfaction, for every types of persons from many parts of the continent that comes to this hotel.
And then the Echo Hotel is situated on what they call the island in Lagos. Explain to me what the island is for people who have never been.
Island is like the Los Angeles of America. Yes.
Cream of the crop.
Yes. Yes. So that's where you have the commercial city of Nigeria. The commercial city of Nigeria. This is where majority of the commercial activities happens. Yeah, we have the federal capital as Abuja, but when you talk about where the major transactions happen, where people come take the money away, where people come make the money and take the money away, it is Lagos.
Lagos on the island.
Yeah, Lagos on the island. Yeah.
It seems like there's a big variety of people too. I see, everybody from people, vendors selling crafts in booths in Lagos to people driving Rolls Royces and Range Rovers. What is life like here for the middle class?
I'll say it's survival of the fittest.
Like LA.
Yeah, for every country, they have their economic challenges.
Of course,
right. I say moderate for the middle class in Victoria Island. Yeah, moderate.
Yeah, I think I know I'm from the United States, and the middle class is always a challenge to maintain a middle class. But I know that the economy in Nigeria is booming, business is booming, and it's growing.
Well,
yes and no.
It's the French people will say it comme ci comme ça. It's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
economy in Nigeria is booming to a very large extent, but we know the global economy generally it's shaky, and Nigeria is not exclusive.
Yeah,
it's not exclusive. Yeah, for the hard worker, you work hard, you every day you hustle, you find a way to make things happen. Yeah, you survive it. Yeah,
sounds like Los Angeles. Yeah, sounds like Los Angeles. When we started off talking about how you're from a Yoruba origin and how this region has lots of Yoruba people, we've been able to see some of the culture, dance, and whatnot. What would you say that your culture, the Yoruba culture, is most known for? What are you most proud of about it?
Yoruba culture has a lot of beautiful things, I'll say, ranging from their beautiful and nice meals, to the attires, as you can see me.
I love that so much.
This is a typical
beautiful
Yoruba concept of dressing. And you talk about the respect for people, Yoruba culture, it's known with respect for people, beautiful food, cuisine. They have very lovely cuisine. And yes, the attires, the way they appear,
sharp.
Yes, it's also something we're proud of.
Okay, and I can't let you go because we are at the hotel. Lagos, and particularly the island, is kind of known for parties and the nightlife. How do you see that?
The elite. This is Victoria Island, Lagos. This is where you have the majority of the elite, and this is where you have most of the corporate dealings, in Lagos. You have the elite, you have the educated, you have the socialized one. So every now and then, people will work hard. This is like, I say, the headquarters of most offices in Nigeria. You have them here. So you see that people work hard during the day, and in the night they just want to relax. They want to forget about the hustle and the hustling and the bustling of the morning. So in the evening, they find something to, to ease off. Yeah, so you see a lot of nightlife. People go dancing, burn off the stress. As a way of relaxation.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah, work hard. God bless you. Work hard, play hard.
Anything else you want to say to the people, particularly in the United States, but people around the world who haven't had a chance to visit here yet?
I'll say that Nigeria is a destination for African tourism. Yeah, I don't want to sound like I exaggerate. I will say Nigeria is the destination for the world tourism. Everybody needs to come. We have lovely culture. We have lovely people. We have very hospitable people. We have a lot of things going for us, in this country. I think it's a place that everybody, particularly Lagos, that everybody in Los Angeles, in America, in Europe, should come experience. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you spell your name for me? I want to make sure I get it right.
Ola. Well, it's a long one. The full one is Olayiwola. Olayiwola. But I'll keep it simple. We call it Ola. O-L-A.
Okay.
That's the abbreviation of it.
Keep it simple. Thank you so much for stopping to talk with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure
to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Space is limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Every mother deserves a healthy and joyous pregnancy and birth, and every baby deserves to thrive. That's why the Los Angeles County Abundant Birth Project is here. The Abundant Birth Project is a guaranteed income program that provides cash during pregnancy to pregnant individuals at the highest risk of preterm and low birth rate babies. Although program enrollment has closed, our commitment to Black joy and thriving continues. Through tailored services that foster mental well-being and community-based resources, we provide care and support during pregnancy and after the baby is born to help build brighter futures for our families.
Join us in celebrating abundant births in LA County. For more information, please visit abundantbirthproject.org. abundantbirthproject.org.
Hey man, hey, what's up, bro? What's the station you listening to? Oh man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio, KBLA, 1580 AM. Check it out. 1580 KBLA AM. 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Where you get some information, get a true education, just to know. Ooh, yeah. 1580.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima. Hopefully you know that. He's Miles Lowe. And that guy over there way back in LA, that's Odell. But look, we are continuing our mission. We're broadcasting from West Africa, Nigeria to be exact. And we are all over the place. We're in the city, we're in the country, we're taking you with us. So I want to remind you to tap in on social media. Tap in on KBLA 1580 on all social media platforms. Please like, please follow, please subscribe. Yes, we are out in the country. Those are the sounds that you hear behind me. I've never seen a parking lot parked up quite like this. I've never seen the group vibe that goes on when somebody's car breaks down in the middle of the road here, and it happens quite a bit. I kind of wonder how their cars even keep running. There's no Pep Boys anywhere in sight, but it's like a group. It's like a circle of people to go around and fix. Anyway, that's what you're hearing in the background. You're hearing the sounds of the countryside. But we're bringing you as many visuals as we can, posting pics, going live. We want you to come with us on this journey. We'll also be going to the Republic of Benin. We'll be visiting Ghana. And if you didn't get on an airplane with us, with African Focus Incorporated and KBLA Talk 1580, we want you to travel with us auditorially, visually, spiritually, and of course, politically. And so many people back in Los Angeles and Texas, we had people on the trip from Texas, from DC, have donated, have given money, have given books and supplies that we're offering to these children. So we are bringing lots of stuff with us. And thanks to Mothers in Action, thanks to Terry's Book Club, and thank you to Black Lives Matter LA, all of whom stepped up with either money or equipment for the kids, things that we got from the schools that they needed. And that includes a couple of water wells that we'll be unveiling a little later in our journey. So all of that is going on. But you heard James, that was really an example of what I was talking about, where you can see the class strata happening among Black people here in Africa. James, obviously, you figured it out, is from the hood, and he works as a porter in that hotel. And so the code switching that was happening was real. And it happened in about 1.2 seconds, right, Miles?
Yeah. Shout out to James, man. That was a fun brother to meet. Definitely fun brother to meet. A good character, good energy. And yeah, just like I said, like we just said earlier, the testament of the culture is kind of blending, because he gave me a real, New York DJ, type of vibe.
In a heartbeat. It was like his code switch was barely hanging on by a thread.
Went from not saying nothing to nobody.
It was interesting though, because you were beefing with the DJ, but here comes James, and James is like relating to both of us as Black people, as comrades, really. I didn't feel that vibe from him, like, oh, you guys are over here and I'm over there. Although maybe he thought you were going to discover him and make him into a famous rap artist.
Right. That works too, but also James was a little older than the DJ was. So maybe a little bit more of a, maturity, maybe a little more, deeply entwined into the hospitality industry, and actually, being a hotel staff, you're dealing with people directly on a different level than I guess the DJ was. So I don't know. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt and grace, and it's more of an understanding process. But James was hella cool.
Yeah, I also think that what we're seeing now, this is your second trip, this is my 8th trip, is that we're getting more of the subtleties, right, of the culture.
Right.
We're excited to be in Africa. It's lovely that people say welcome home, and we're meeting so many beautiful, nice people and seeing our ancestors' culture. We're also seeing more of the subtleties of the international relations, and I do believe this Trump administration has created more division, because people are kind of mad at the U.S. right now.
Right.
And so that makes us seem more like part of an evil empire, if you will. So I think that is affecting, because I'm comparing 2016, the first time we came, to now, and you can see somewhat the difference in people's attitudes, and I do think it's based at least partially on what's going on in the United States right now, as the Supreme Court enters its final day, and we're expecting even more crazy decisions that will shape the future of our everyday lives. That impacts the lives of people all around the world, because that is how powerful the footprint, the superpower status of the United States is. So to some degree, I think we represent that, and we're picking up on that vibe as well. Really looking forward, though, to this journey into the countryside. We are definitely in Yoruba country now. You can see the beautiful garments, the garb that, you might think Lamert Park, but this is very specifically African Yoruba style, and it is fly.
You said you might think Lamert Park?
You might think Lamert Park because you've seen these jaunty hats and cool garb. You've seen them on people at the drum circle, Lamert Park. But this is, coming to the mothership. This is the origination of these styles, and we're way out in the country, and these folks are sharp as can be. I mean, and it's interesting too, Miles, when you go from the city to the country, you see more and more traditional garb the further you get away from the city center. City center, you see Gucci and,
knockoff Gucci, you mean?
Yeah, knockoff Gucci, and some real Gucci, and you see more Western styles. Out here, even everyday people in the streets are wearing traditional African garb.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Civil rights leaders are urging Governor Gavin Newsom to commute all 574 death sentences in California.
California has the biggest death penalty in the entire country, with nearly 600 people sitting on the row, which is nearly double the half of the next biggest state.
At a Capitol rally, they cited racial bias, wrongful convictions, and systemic injustice. The call comes as the state Supreme Court reviews a related lawsuit. HBCU, Howard University, and Google have teamed up for Project Elevate Black Voices, collecting speech data from Black communities to improve voice recognition technology. The data will be shared with HBCUs and may be licensed to help companies build more inclusive AI. And Kevin Durant says he plans to finish his NBA career with the Houston Rockets. The 36-year-old was just traded from Phoenix and told ESPN he wants to retire in Houston. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks snapped a 4-game losing streak Thursday night in the WNBA. They beat the Indiana Fever 85-75. First win for the Sparks since June 11. The Sparks are home Sunday afternoon against the Chicago Sky. The Lakers finally had some activity in the NBA draft after not having a first-round pick Wednesday night. They made a trade with Phoenix and Minnesota to move up 19 spots in the second round. The Lakers selected Adul Thero, a 6'8" forward from Arkansas. The Clippers used their second-round pick to take Kobe Sanders, a 6'7" guard from Nevada. Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw had 5 strikeouts in the Dodgers' 3-1 win at Colorado. Kershaw needs only 3 more to become the 20th Major League pitcher with 3,000 strikeouts. If the Angels beat the Washington Nationals tonight in Anaheim, they will be over the 500 mark for the first time this season since April 20th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. It is a Freedmen Friday, but we're broadcasting from way out the country, Nigeria, West Africa. You can hear the sounds of the school children behind us. We tapped in with longtime reparationist Dr. David Horne to keep us on track with a Freedmen Friday.
KBLA Talk 1580. So excited and honored to have with me. He's a retired professor of critical thinking and African history, former chair of the Pan-African Studies Department at Cal State Northridge. He taught graduate public policy, political analysis. He is the original executive director of the California African American Political Institute at Cal State Northridge. And he teaches at Southwest College. He's also the founder of the Reparations United Front. Dr. David Horne, welcome.
Good morning, Dominique, and to your entire LA family.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
Nice to be seen.
Yeah, we're traveling in Africa. Something we do every year with the show, traveling in Africa this year.
You still going to Ghana?
Ghana, Nigeria, and the Republic of Benin.
Okay.
And you are one of the earlier Pan-Africanists that I know, at least of your generation. I know, we have Pan-Africanists going back to since I don't know when, actually.
Marcus Garvey and before.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey and earlier. So talk to me about how you define, how you see Pan-Africanism. What is it even?
Interesting you asked that question. I am right now in the throes of trying to make all of this make sense. Pan-Africanism has been around long enough to be confusing as hell to a lot of people. So what we are trying to do is to create a new architecture. It is now time to rethink and replan exactly what it is that we are about. Going back to the very beginning of Pan-Africanism, at least in the English language, you had a number of advocates saying that African people, wherever they are, should return to the continent. We need to reclaim the continent from the colonialists and the people who had basically stolen the land. Here is a very interesting but simple idea. We have been called the African diaspora, those who have been taken away from the continent, those who have wandered away. I am in the business of trying to, we need a different terminology. We are not the diaspora. Diaspora means you have wandered away.
Really? We're not the diaspora?
No, we're not the diaspora.
Because it means you've wandered away as opposed to...
But we didn't wander.
We did not wander.
We were stolen. We were snatched. We were sold away. We didn't wander away. So I'm challenging the idea, well, not the idea, the terminology of diaspora, even though it has become very well known, it's inaccurate.
I mean, even when you talk about the AU, the African Union, there's a diaspora region, right?
Yeah.
But you want to call it something else. You have another name in mind?
We have to call it something else. We have to call it what it is. But again, that has been the terminology that's been around for a while.
Crime scene, is that what we call it? I mean, what do we call it?
Well, after looking at Black Panther and the wonderful ideas of Ryan Coogler, we had to just rethink, what do we call, I know we can always use Makanguzi and a bunch of African words, but that does not stick. We need something that
What is Makanguzi?
Those who have been pushed out.
Ah, okay.
Okay, this is for Hebrew word.
It doesn't stick because it's an African word. So
well,
we need...
it doesn't stick because it's too long.
Oh, it's too long.
Yeah,
Okay.
we need something that readily identifies us as who we are. African people, well, two things. African people are in virtually every society in the world. You know, you got people who look like you and me. But when you think about it, African people should be in every society, since everybody on this planet is an African descendant. We've been misusing the terminology because, of course, white people wanted to say that, you know, we are in some way different from you and better than you, but they are not. Everybody on the planet came from Africa. All people are African descendants. So we have to, again, change the terminology so that it reflects where we are and who we are and how we re-identify with the mother of us all. Africa is the mother of the entire planet. There's no human being who has not basically come from, that family came from.
I mean, I was blessed to go see a lot of those bones at the museums in Ethiopia, and they, you know, it's very clear. It's not just Lucy. There's a whole bunch of bones that tell that story, that human life descends from Africa, the cradle of civilization.
So we are
but yet we
descendants.
distinguish black people from other humans,
which is nonsense.
Really,
it's total nonsense.
So then what? So what are reparations then? If we're not distinct?
Okay, that's a whole different issue.
Okay.
No, that's okay.
Well, you see how I drew that line, right? Because if we're
sorry,
saying we're all one people, then
we are all evolved from the same people. What happened in human evolution, as we learned, sons growing up challenging their fathers about who was going to be in charge of the family, and then that spreading people around the world as sons had to leave, either kill the father or leave, and therefore becoming head of their own families. I mean, that's how we spread out. Once we got into human evolution, spreading everybody into different communities, instead of just competing against the forces of nature just to live, the food, clothing, and shelter, we also decided we would compete against each other. If I kill you, then I'm better than you, and I can take what you have. So we got into this competitiveness, and in the competitiveness, we branched off into lighter-skinned folk, browner-skinned folk, darker-skinned folk, based on the geographical communities that they came into. Very light-skinned people are basically adapted to cold weather. So anyway, we got into these different aspects of humanity evolving, but being pushed by competition. Competition initially coming from the family, sons competing with fathers. And in the competition, we decided that he who wins the competition can define everything else. That then became the basis for warfare. I have what I have, you have what you have, but I want what you have too, to make what I have bigger. And so we compete. If I kill you or if I stomp you, then I take what you have. So we got into a world where power or command of the situation defined who was better and who was worse. A lot of whites coming out of a very hostile environment, north, cold weather. A lot of people who became lighter skinned became very, very good at warfare, killing people, taking what other people had. That basically led us to where we are now. But
All right.
we all came from Africa. We are all African people. We have just gotten into different aspects of warfare to determine who is better with in terms of the so-called African descendants and who's worse. Donald Trump is an African descendant.
We're gonna leave you to think about that. We'll come forward and we'll continue this conversation. So much to unpack in what he said. Talking with Dr. David Horne, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love, now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Talking with Dr. David Horne. He's a retired professor of critical thinking and African history, but also a long time reparationist and Pan-Africanist. I started out asking you what is Pan-Africanism, and we got into a conversation about the entire human race. What I'm assuming you believe is a false social construct of race based on what you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But when we talk about reparations, that sounds like you've moved to a more lineage-based model then, or a harm-based model. I don't know, because part of the debate is if we're all humans, then how do you know who to pay reparations to?
Okay, I don't know whether your show is long enough for this, but as a long time reparations activist, even when I was still just trying to figure out what I was doing in high school and early college, reparations was on my mind because my family members had talked about it. Where we are in the reparations movement now is a pool of total confusion. I am often at odds with some of the other folk who have been advocating reparations. For example, those on the East Coast, in Maryland, for example, with the black governor.
That's more.
There's a major conflict.
Because he vetoed that legislation.
And I agree with him. I think he should have.
Because he said the time for studies is over? Is that why you agree with him?
I don't completely agree with the time for study is over. The time for the kind of studies that we've been doing, that's over. And you got to pick your battles and when you're going to fight the battles. Under Trump, even pushing a proper reparations issue is not going to work. And more importantly, we've gotten too far into the idea of talking heads, I'm in charge, and you follow me, and we will get to the end of the battle. There are too many people who have become too self-important. Where's the plan? There is no real reparations plan except to try to make white people feel guilty at what they did to us and to accept the fact that you now owe us. Part of what came out of our California reparations effort, the California now leading the country and the world in having compiled a document, that 1,200-page document that lays out what was and was not done. Part of looking at that lets you know that you have to be able to clearly identify who was responsible for what we say was in fact done to us and who's accountable. We can go back to Mitch McConnell in 2008, 2009, standing up before a microphone and saying, listen, my family owned slaves. Yeah, I'm from Kentucky. My family owned slaves. They made a lot of money. They treated their slaves badly, but they're dead. My family members are dead. The slaves are dead. I'd never owned any slaves. The members of my family who are alive now never owned any slaves. How are you going to say that I'm responsible for what other people did?
But he's still benefiting off that wealth, number one. And number two, I mean, does reparations really have anything to do with white people? It has to do with a debt that's owed to us.
Supposedly, it has to do with a debt that's owed to us. We have to accurately identify that debt. We've said the debt is based on, y'all treated us badly, you know, based on a Christian kind of
But I mean, that's
assessment.
not what the task force says, though.
Wait a minute. The other thing is we say that you owe us a debt because you made a promise.
Right.
You gave us land and then you took it back. They never made a promise. That's historically inaccurate. They never made a promise. Field Order 15 was basically a military document to get 40,000 African Americans who are following a military campaign and getting in the way. We have to figure out a way to handle this crowd so we can finish killing these Confederates. Field Order 15 gave us a focus, but it should not have been the beginning of the reparations movement because, again, the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution says that you cannot take property from somebody without compensating them for it. The white Confederates never gave up their citizenship. They fought against the government, but they were still American citizens. You couldn't take their land without some kind of legal document, some kind of compensation. Lincoln never gave anybody the documentation that would have made that legal. And when Thaddeus Stevens tried to get the legislation passed that would have made the granting of land to African Americans taken from Confederates, when he tried to make that legal,
I mean, it could have been done.
They shot it down.
Couldn't have been done through eminent domain. It couldn't have been done.
No.
Through, I mean, because as a traitor to your country.
Who defines traitor? But
well, trying to overthrow the government is pretty much the definition of a traitor.
Well, apparently, that we got the president who's there now, who essentially
who is a traitor.
He did just that. But the point I'm making is we have focused our arguments on they did us wrong and they broke a promise. Yeah, they did us wrong according to us, not according to them.
So you contend that Special Order Field Order number 15 does not grant.
No, it does not. They never did.
I know there's quite a few people that would argue against that.
Once Lincoln was assassinated and all hell broke loose,
yeah,
most of that land was taken back by not all of it. Some people did manage to hold on to, and through heirs property, maintain it even until the 20th century. But most of the property simply went back to white folks because, again, legally, they didn't make us a promise that they broke.
Well, the Freedmen's Bureau Act was supposed to grant land, right?
The Freedmen's Bureau Act with that aspect in it never passed. That was what Thaddeus Stevens was trying to get passed.
The watered-down version that passed did not include land
did
grant.
not include that. So what we are saying is that when we look at how we have argued the case to this point, we have not firmly established who's responsible and who's accountable. Even in the great report that came out in California, there has been no other state so far that has done the level of study that we've done here. I mean, this model now becomes what everybody else will use, even though California never legally identified slavery as being proper. Even in the state that never should have had slavery, identifying who's responsible and who's accountable in that document has not been done, which is part of the reason Newsom and some of his advocates said we got to move away from this. We got the report.
Maybe you're giving him too much credit, but okay. So, I mean, in your opinion, how is it not clear that the U.S. government holds some responsibility here?
Some responsibility. What is some? And how do we summarize? How do we calculate that so that it comes out in some kind of...
So how do you... It sounds like you're arguing against reparations.
No, I'm not arguing against reparations. I'm arguing against the position that we have now gotten ourselves into to advocate reparations. What I'm suggesting is that we need a think tank. We need a series of gatherings to lay out a new plan. Let me give you an example. When Martin Luther King and SCLC, the beginning of SCLC, when they were concerned about black people paying money to get on city buses and then be insulted, then be treated badly, you taking our money and then treating us like we don't count. How do we do something about that? They sat around long enough to plan out how we are going to remedy this situation. We are 2/3 of the bus riding public. We need to keep our money in our pocket. We need to walk. We need to drive each other around. We need to stop riding a damn bus. If they are not going to respect us, then they shouldn't get our money. They laid out a plan for the Montgomery bus boycott, and they executed that plan, and they got the desired result. We have not come up with a workable reparations plan. We've done a lot of advocation. We've had great speakers. We've had great conferences. We need a think tank to lay out a proper reparations plan to win. Again, looking back at the Montgomery bus boycott as an example, you lay out a plan to win what it is that you are aiming at. We haven't done that. We got great talkers, great speakers, great books. We don't have a plan.
The California Congressional Black Caucus has a raft of bills.
Right.
Is that a plan?
And no, it was not. The last year when you had some people expecting passage of legislation which would have gotten some people paid money. That didn't come about. And we had the scenes of black folk from the community accosting state legislators on the sidewalks, in the offices. I mean, it was crazy. You know, you got black folks yelling at other black folks. Y'all didn't do what you were supposed to have done. How dare you, blah, blah, blah. Because there was no plan to get it done. We got a few of the bills passed, particularly the apology. We apologize for having enslaved some of you. We apologize for the what was done to African Americans after slavery. That's all we got, an apology. And none of the other things came out because, again, we have not, even in spite of all that research, we have still not laid out who's responsible. Since the state of California said from the very beginning there will be no slavery, the Constitution said slavery will not exist in California. It did. So fine, who's responsible for doing that? We were only able to find 85,000 examples of slavery in California. This is not the place. This is not Mississippi. This is not Virginia. This is not the place where you had thousands upon thousands of slaves. Even in spite of how great a document came out of that effort, we have still not identified, even for California, who's responsible for what we say was done to us, and how do we address that wrong. There were about 25 instances in the document of African Americans having owned property and having that property taken from them by the city or the county or the state. That is legally accountable. We all know about Bruce's Beach. That family got compensated. But there is a gigantic hotel in Santa Monica. The property on which that hotel sits was taken from a black family. Just taken. Taken by the city illegally, and that family has never been compensated. And that hotel is still standing and making money. There are about 20 to 25 instances all over the state. All of those need to be addressed. Again, you had private property taken without compensation, and that's not supposed to be legally defensible. But 20 or 25 instances is not enough. We need a think tank to lay out a proper reparations plan that can be enacted and won. And we haven't done that. We've done a lot of talking. We haven't done enough planning. That's my point.
Well, we have done some legislating and some convening of electeds, but I understand what you're saying. We started off talking about Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, can I finish part of that?
Yeah. Your definition of Pan-Africanism.
Pan-Africanism from the beginning meant a recognition of our common bonds, our common relationship to a land from which we have been taken. So you had a number of early advocates. The first real planning session for Pan-Africanism was supposed to be in 1900, that conference. That too was a reminder of the connection between black folk and having been stolen away from a land that we never had a choice in. Marcus Garvey in the 1920s did not start but picked up the advocation for Pan-Africanism is more than just a remembrance of where we came from. Pan-Africanism is an advocation for where we must return. That Pan-Africanism is what connects black people from all over the world. That we have a common origin, we have a common destiny. That destiny is to reclaim, retake the power that African folk should have. And that power is in the land, is in the resources.
But you just said all people all humans descend from Africa.
Yes, they do.
We'll take that up when we come forward. We're talking with Dr. David Horne, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Investigators have downloaded data from the black boxes of the Air India flight that crashed after takeoff from Ahmedabad, killing over 260 people. New Delhi visual journalist Kshitij Nagar reports.
India's aviation ministry said in the statement that it would, quote, help reconstruct the sequence of events leading to the accident.
A preliminary report is expected within 30 days. The Supreme Court has upheld South Carolina's right to cut Medicaid funding to Planned Parenthood. Governor McMaster praised the ruling, calling it a win for life and state values. Critics warn it could limit care for low-income patients across the state. And a Black Georgia man is facing murder charges after allegedly shooting his uncle during a fight over a honey bun. Police say 29-year-old Michael Crowley opened fire after an argument in DeKalb County. The victim, Black 48-year-old Roger Crowley, was shot multiple times. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
See and buy exotic birds, fish, reptiles, amphibians, turtles, succulents, plants, and supplies at LA Pet Fair. This weekend, LA County Fairgrounds, Pomona Fairplex. It's the biggest pet expo and sale in SoCal. A family fun event, June 28th and 29th. Get info at lapetfair.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks snapped a 4-game losing streak Thursday night in the WNBA. They beat the Indiana Fever 85-75. First win for the Sparks since June 11. The Sparks are home Sunday afternoon against the Chicago Sky. The Lakers finally had some activity in the NBA draft after not having a first-round pick Wednesday night. They made a trade with Phoenix and Minnesota to move up 19 spots in the second round. The Lakers selected Adul Thero, a 6'8" forward from Arkansas. The Clippers used their second-round pick to take Kobe Sanders, a 6'7" guard from Nevada. Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw had 5 strikeouts in the Dodgers' 3-1 win at Colorado. Kershaw needs only 3 more to become the 20th Major League pitcher with 3,000 strikeouts. If the Angels beat the Washington Nationals tonight in Anaheim, they will be over the 500 mark for the first time this season since April 20th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Every mother deserves a healthy and joyous pregnancy and birth, and every baby deserves to thrive. That's why the Los Angeles County Abundant Birth Project is here. The Abundant Birth Project is a guaranteed income program that provides cash during pregnancy to pregnant individuals at the highest risk of preterm and low birth rate babies. Although program enrollment has closed, our commitment to Black joy and thriving continues. Through tailored services that foster mental well-being and community-based resources, we provide care and support during pregnancy and after the baby is born to help build brighter futures for our families. Join us in celebrating abundant births in LA County. For more information, please visit abundantbirthproject.org. abundantbirthproject.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has worksource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services resources for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Talking with Dr. David Horne. You say you're a dyed-in-the-wool Garveyite.
Yes. In fact, I just finished writing a play on Garvey, Marcus Garvey, one of the only third or fourth major plays written about Marcus Garvey. Hopefully, we'll be able to get it produced in L.A. before December.
Okay, well, I hope so. We were just talking about reparations in the context of you being a Garveyite and a Pan-Africanist, and you were saying it's about reclaiming the power, the connection to the land, and then we circled back to where we started, which is that race is a false construct.
Oh, it is.
Everyone descends from Africa. So if we're reclaiming our connection to the land, isn't that everybody that should be reclaiming their power and connection to the land?
There are different communities who claim other land. They claim Norway. Trump is trying to claim
Iceland and Panama.
Exactly. Those who don't even want to recognize that they're African. If you call Donald Trump African, he'd probably have a heart attack in your face. There are those who are not claiming.
Or he'd say he's an Elon African.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the late Dr. Richard King. He used to say we're all African, but it has to do with your relationship to your Africanness.
And I agree with Dr. King. I knew what he was talking about. We who are African people and who recognize ourselves as African people, we are connected to a land base from which we were dispersed. People like Trump, for example, are the dispersers. They are the ones who, because of competition, took and captured and removed people. In the fight over who's better, then people who look like me are better than you. How do we know? Because we won. We're able to take what you have and double what we already had. So that Africanness has gotten to be caught up in the same international competition that everything else is. So when we talk about Pan-Africanism, we are talking about people who, first of all, identify that they're African, and people who understand that the land that is still called Africa belongs to us, and that land will not have the power and the influence in the world that it deserves until it connects with each other. For example, right now, China controls about 90% of the rare earth elements which are necessary for the future, for, wherever we are going in the next 10, 20, 30 years.
For the technology.
Exactly. China does not actually own all of those rare earth elements, but it controls, because part of them come from China, the rest of them come from Africa. Most of the rare earth elements that are necessary for the future of the world are in the continent. Only we don't control most of what is in our own backyard. Pan-Africanism says we must own it. We must control our own resources and our own conditions about life. So Pan-Africanism is the advocacy for the return of the control of Africa to African people. And we do that diplomatically. We might have to do it militarily, but that control must be returned. Pan-Africanism is about African people returning to the ascendancy and the importance that they used to have in the world.
But Elon Musk calls himself an African.
Actually, given the present state of confusion, white South Africans, including Elon Musk, in this country can call themselves African Americans because we're living here and they are African. They were born in Africa. There are white people who are still in Africa who still have a lot more authority than they should have. Pan-Africanism is about African people who look like you and me, reclaiming and controlling their own resources and their own future. And we're talking about doing that in Ubuntu. That is, we're talking about doing that in relationship to each other, which emphasizes the whole idea that it is human favor, human advancement that's important, not just who has what. We have to always consider, we have to always plan on how are human beings benefiting from our connections. That's what this is about.
So as a Garveyite, does that mean going back to Africa? Does it mean living there, repatriating?
It means for those who desire going back, and it means for those who need to go back, to have a vehicle to do it. For example, I am a very, very strong advocate for the situation coming out of Ghana where we can get dual citizenship. We maintain our American passports and citizenship, but we also become citizens of Ghana. We do it by a ceremony, which allows us to vote in Ghana, own property in Ghana, etc. Given the tenuousness of our being in this country and the Trump administration trying to eliminate all the civil rights, trying to eliminate anything that black people seem to be in charge of, the Librarian of Congress and everything else. Given the tenuousness of our being here and other places, African countries, because the African Union is not yet ready to do it as a body, so that individual African countries now need to make political decisions which would allow you and me, Stevie Wonder and everybody else who wants to do it, to become citizens of African countries without giving up our legal status that we've already earned. One of the scariest parts of being a human being is to be in an international situation, getting off a plane, something happens to your ticket, and you're stuck in the airport, and you don't have any paperwork which allow you to go any place because you are stateless. Can't have that. I'll give you the African Hebrews, African Israelites.
Israelites, yeah.
Okay, who are living in Israel now, who've had a very strong, interesting history. During the 1960s, the Israeli government came and surrounded the compound and told all of them they had to get out immediately, right now. Get out where? We don't have any passports. We can't go. You took out all our paperwork. We can't leave. That's too bad. Get out. They ended up coming up with an agreement, a compromise. We will let you stay as long as you contribute to Israel. And they've done that. They've been great with education, with techniques about agriculture. They've been great with what they've done. But part of that community, because of that initial agreement in the 60s, they have no paperwork. They cannot leave Israel. They cannot travel internationally unless they do it trying to sneak across the border. Being internationally naked like that not having status is not a good position for us to be in. I'm advocating strongly that African Americans, us, we need to become dual citizens of some African country right now. I don't think we need to be dependent on what white people do here or in other places, and then we have no place to go. We should not put our trust in people who've already demonstrated they're not trustworthy. Dual citizenship is part of Pan-Africanism. Marcus Garvey advocated it, I advocated it, and most strong Pan-Africanists advocated. We need to have, we're world people. We need to be able to move worldwide.
Indeed, we are a world people. We need to be able to move worldwide. And right now, in this moment in history, I would love to see like a, emergency Black American passport that works in any African country, or a visa. Maybe it's a visa. I don't know.
Yes, a visa.
Where we can just bounce and be out.
That's right. Be sure.
Right now, I know Ghana. I think Kenya is also offering pathways to citizenship. Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sierra Leone.
So it's spreading, right?
It's spreading. It's spreading in spite of the fact that even continental Africans cannot right now travel to different countries on the continent without paperwork. We got a long way to go, but we need to get that straight. We are world people. Africans have always been a world people. We need to remind ourselves of that and collect what comes with that for ourselves. I want my daughters, I want my grandson, I want my family to be able to understand these people are acting crazy. Let me just simply give me a plane ticket and get out of here. And I got some place to go, some people to accept me coming in, and I can continue my life. Black people need that.
And that's part of your definition of Pan-Africanism.
Yes. Pan-Africanism is African people reclaiming their destiny, their majesty on this planet. Again, the way that Ryan Coogler wrote Black Panther, was made us remember that connection.
We've had some debates on that around here lately. We'll keep it going. This is a great conversation. Of course it is. It's Dr. David Horne. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Are you ready to play? Then jump into the LA 84 Foundation's Free Play Day Block Party, a community celebration for all ages, including live music, dancing, LA's pro sports teams, great local food trucks, plus special giveaways for you to take home. Enjoy an exciting, fun-filled day for the entire family. Join on Saturday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 2141 West Adams Boulevard. To register, go to la84.org. We'll see you Saturday, June 28th at LA 84 Foundation's Free Play Day Block Party.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Spaces limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
It's me, Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. I see those dry elbows, baby. But don't worry, get moisturized right in the shower. So hydrated you can skip the lotion after.
Don't wanna see it dry no more. Skin so moisturized with body wash.
Look at you now, no more dry skin. Your skin gets the moisture it craves with
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Dr. David Horne is my guest, and he is a retired professor. He is a writer, an influencer before we knew there was such a thing, particularly around his work on reparations. We're talking about Pan-Africanism, reparations, and much of the work that you've done in your career. And you mentioned Ryan Coogler a couple times in Black Panther. Lately, there's been a conversation on this show about how the Black Panther... Excuse me?
Oh, I thought you were going to go to the other movie, Sinners.
Oh, yeah, Sinners. No, I was still on... I was on Black Panther because the debate has been that Killmonger, the character played by Michael B. Jordan, the only one representing the anti-hero is the Black American, is the freedman. And a lot of us find that problematic. Like, the Africans are sort of, these idealized superhumans, and the Black American is the problem, the violent one. He's not brought in. He's not... they don't try to heal him. They don't try to reclaim him.
Healed.
They cast him out and make him the scapegoat.
I've had this debate, discussion with a number of my students. We are complicated people. We are members of the African family who have not always been treated with inclusion. We've not always been made to feel like we are part of the family. We've been the child who got spanked a lot and got chastised a lot. So you kind of grow up feeling...
and enslaved.
Yeah. And you
disenfranchised.
Disenfranchised is probably the best word. So you come up in the family feeling like you got to fight everybody. You don't feel loved. You don't feel accepted. You feel like, somebody put you into a situation.
I mean, we were literally enslaved, and some argue, why didn't Africans come and get us? Why didn't they try to come and get us?
Because some Africans helped us get in the position in the first place. And the second part is Africans in general at that particular point could not effectively compete militarily with the people who took us in the first place. But it's complicated, and Killmonger was a complicated figure. He was not just bitter and not just angry. He came up with a suggestion for a solution that a number of people that I grew up with accepted. Hey, y'all got all these great weapons. You got all this technology. Let's use this technology and pay back these people who treated us so badly. Our thing is, since we got it, we got to use it. Who's talking about just peacefully coexisting? The hell with that. They hurt us, hurt them back. They kicked my behind. It's now time for us to go and kick their behind. Killmonger was not just one of anything. He was a complicated, young African-American brother who looked like people that we've all grown up with. I think when people start trying to give a single characteristic analysis of Killmonger and anybody else in Black Panther, I think they confuse the issue. We had a big discussion a number of times about, the brother had the best plan. Let's take the weapons and get back at white people, get back at everybody. That's not necessarily going to help our situation.
Yeah, I don't know that people, your students are talking about the plan. I think some people are just talking about the portrayal of the Black American, the way that it is portrayed in that movie, the way that it's dealt with on the continent. But I want to, because we're almost out of time here, I got to circle back to what you said about some Africans put us in this position in the first place. But isn't that overstated now as a talking point? The way the complicity of Africans in our enslavement?
Some people do overemphasize that issue, but it is simply one issue in a very complicated mishmash of things.
So does Africa owe African Americans reparations?
No. I don't think so.
Why not, if they were complicit and a part of our enslavement?
Some aspects of some African countries, some African tribal groups. For example, in Ghana, you know, there's a particular tribe that even the Ghanaians are still angry at them for having participated in the slave trade.
Ashanti.
You took them to the castle. You brought them in. White people didn't come and seize those Africans. You actually took the Africans and traded them for trinkets and
guns.
And stuff. Right. So they and there are African groups all over the continent who would fit that bill. It's a complicated issue. It was never just A or just B or just C. It's complicated. There are some Africans who have in their history collaboration with the enemy. And yeah, they should be hauled up on charges about that. They need to answer that. But that was not all Africans. There was no.
So
one
you're
thing.
saying, so since it wasn't a state policy, that reparations are not due?
No. I think, as you were suggesting, reparations does need to be addressed in Africa, but to say that Africa owes reparations to the scattered African folk, I think still needs to be identified, not just addressed. Africa does not essentially owe reparations to Africans who were taken away.
Scattered African people, is that our new word for diaspora? Africa's children, wherever they are?
Exactly. And
or wherever they were stolen and taken to?
That is part of the new nomenclature that we're working on. How do we identify the scattered African folk? Because that's what we are.
Scattered and stolen.
Scattered, stolen, disrespected, all of that. Yeah.
Dr. David Horne, we've just got about a minute here. Time flies. I hope I can convince you to come back again one day soon.
I'll come back anytime.
How would you like to leave us today? What would you like to use that minute to say?
African folk have had to fight and scrape and communicate well with each other in order to have survived to our position in history, to our position right now. We have to understand fighting in order to advance is part of the package. We're not going to get away from that. There will be no real peace in our lifetime. We have to keep fighting to bring African people back together so they can move with one accord toward what they deserve in life.
Well, Dr. David Horne, thank you so much for all of your work over all these years.
You're quite welcome.
Normalizing reparations, working on it, and also helping us to open our eyes and our minds to Africa and the Pan-African experience.
You're quite welcome. We have to be logical, African logic.
I'm Dominique DiPrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Investigators have downloaded data from the black boxes of the Air India flight that crashed after takeoff from Ahmedabad, killing over 260 people. New Delhi visual journalist Kshitij Nagar reports.
India's aviation ministry said in the statement that it would, quote, help reconstruct the sequence of events leading to the accident.
A preliminary report is expected within 30 days. The Supreme Court has upheld South Carolina's right to cut Medicaid funding to Planned Parenthood. Governor McMaster praised the ruling, calling it a win for life and state values. Critics warn it could limit care for low-income patients across the state. And a black Georgia man is facing murder charges after allegedly shooting his uncle during a fight over a honey bun. Police say 29-year-old Michael Crowley opened fire after an argument in DeKalb County. The victim, black 48-year-old Roger Crowley, was shot multiple times.